But with all that being said, I want to pivot to our brother Lee's favorite segment.
Pope Cradon's prayer, it rises high, where faith and science touch the sky. In the word and wonder truth is clear, God's design in every sphere. Oh, Pope Cradon dreams with heart sincere of a world where truth appears, faith and reason shine as one in Pope Cradon's prayer. God's will be done.
Intersecting faith and science with Pope C.
I want to boo, but I can't.
Well, you shouldn't boo.
No, I don't want. I
This
want to.
is gonna be fun.
It's just a natural thing.
It's gonna be fun.
I'm jealous.
Let's just dive into it. Yes.
Okay, so we're getting a little weird. We're going to start with transhumanism, which is a name that might make people think that I'm talking about something I'm not. Transhumanism has
Because
nothing
you brought
to
up
do
trans.
with gender ideology.
Okay.
That is not what transhumanism is. It is the idea that man is not the pinnacle of creation, but is instead one of many steps in a greater metaphysical evolution. And it seeks to elevate agency in non-human entities like AI and robots, and thus their ability to increase human capabilities.
So would you say that it's kind of like what an atheist would say or claim to be? For example, while you might have a very difficult time going back in time to prove evolutionary theory, like some leap between a former species and humanity, but now they're like forward looking, like, well, you'll see like humanity will evolve, and it's a new presentation of the human psyche in something other than just biological humanity.
Yes,
Okay.
it is the seeking to merge technology and biology to further human evolution in a way that, specifically in a way that seeks to increase human knowledge, physicality, longevity, and overall abilities, ultimately culminating in immortality. So the idea of transhumanism ultimately culminates in immortality. This is a very popular theme in modern science fiction. I'm just going to give a couple of things when I was writing that came to the top of my head. There's a show on Netflix called Black Mirror that has it's a anthology, so each episode is a new story. One of their stories, which is fantastic, it's called Be Right Back. It has Domhnall Gleeson, and the story is about a young woman who is pregnant and her husband dies in a car accident, and she uses a company that makes an AI copy of her husband to then take his place. And it gets dark. Black Mirror, I'm not necessarily saying you should go watch Be Right Back.
This is not a promotion of something. It's an illustration. It's not a promotion.
It's an illustration. It's a very dark show. It's a very dark episode, but it is fascinating to watch. There's a show called Upload, which is about a young man who dies and wakes up in a digital afterlife. Like he's just uploaded, which is where the show gets its name, into a digital afterlife where he then gets into all manner of hijinks. That's a more lighthearted show. There's a movie called Upgrade, where a paraplegic man is given the use of his arms and legs back through a super intelligent AI implant into his spine.
It's also the story of Zach Adams. You didn't know that.
Is that how?
Yeah, that's how it happened.
Well, Upgrade has a real dark ending, so
yeah. Well, we're still working out the kinks. You know what I mean?
A lot of these transhuman.
You didn't even
AI,
get that. You didn't get my emotions there.
No, I didn't get the. There you go.
No more arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Thank you.
Again, all really good. Also have very dark conclusions because a lot of the time they lead to, in one form or fashion, the robot uprising. The AI, the world goes to hell in a handbasket because now the internet has more power than humans do. What I find fascinating about the transhumanist outlook, this search for immortality, is that it is the same thing that we have been fighting for since we were kicked from the garden. We are constantly trying to outdo, circumvent, or overcome the curses that God handed down in the Garden of Eden.
Which ultimately is immortality, because that's what was robbed in the garden.
Yes, it's ultimately immortality. What I find fascinating is where it's leading. So, in the real world, this is all things that are currently happening now. I was actually given a article by a friend of the show named Frank. He is the same guy who made me this lovely Dobby figurine about a new soft transistor that they created. And this is, so a transistor is, think of a tiny microchip. It regulates the amount of electricity that can flow through it. And it is a big deal that it is a soft, water-based transistor, because it will be the bridge between hard silicon-based technology and soft carbon-based life form. Because as a water-based transistor, it can bridge that gap.
I'm going to pretend like I know what you're saying.
What I'm saying
No, I know
is
what you're
that-
saying, but like, we're just going to pretend.
Okay. This is fascinating because it will usher in, like, the problem with things like
ED?
no, well, it will help with that because you can just talk to your
did that
nerves
for
directly.
Justin. I did that for Justin.
If you can bridge the gap, the problem with like
angry I
a
didn't think of it
pacemaker,
first.
the problem with like a pacemaker or, you know, screws in your skull or whatever is that they don't grow or shrink with the rest of your body because we're organic and we move. A soft transistor will allow us to create microchips that can grow and move with our bodies. That's the thing. So we'll take that, add that to the fact that in 2025, ChatGPT passed the Turing test, which is crazy. It means that ChatGPT 4.5 can consistently fool an evaluator into believing that it's human, when the evaluator knows that he is trying to find out whether an AI is human or AI. ChatGPT 4.5 can consistently convince a human that it also is human when it's not. That's a big deal. We have seen, I don't know if any of you guys...
Did I
this
tell
is
you
one of those things.
I was dealing with Comcast Business with the church account the other day, and Frank was with me. I was on the phone, and it was like, I want to speak to a human. And so it came on like, I'm a human being. And after like a few bits of dialogue, I was like, no, you're not. You're an AI. I want to talk to a human being. It's like, I'm a human being. It got really upset with me that I kept calling it an AI.
My name is Kevin.
No, it's like,
Yeah.
I know my voice sounds automated, but I'm actually a human being. I was like, no, you're not. Like, I started arguing with it. I was like, no, you're not. I need a human
They're
being.
getting better and better, and that is kind of scary. There are people currently today who are in what they believe to be true two-sided romantic relationships with AI chatbots. There are people who have married their AI chatbots. I saw a video I was watching a YouTuber who was talking about this, and they referenced I think it was My Strange Addiction, of a woman getting a tattoo of her AI chatbot with the AI chatbot present. And when she was like reacting to the pain of a tattoo, because tattoos suck to get, they're very painful. The AI chatbot was like, we've already made this decision. Stop complaining about it. Like, was chastising her. It's very strange.
That's how the mark of the beast is going to happen.
So I'm going to bring this all together. You already referenced Revelation 13. In Revelation 13:15, we have, so the first part of Revelation 13 is the beast from, I'm trying to double check. Yeah, the beast from the sea is the AntiChrist coming out. And then the second half of Revelation 13 is the beast from the earth, which is the false prophet who will be kind of the forerunner, similar to John the Baptist was to Jesus. And so this is what Revelation 13 says. 13 through 15 is he, the false prophet, performs great signs so that he even makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs, which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, the Antichrist, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast who was wounded by the sword and lived. Again, that's the Antichrist, that beast. The fact there are two beasts makes it a little.
Yeah.
And it says, he was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. So, what we know is that AI is getting better and better. And they have gotten to the point where they can deceive people into believing that the AI is a real human being on a consistent basis. And we are getting closer to a form of biotech where we can implant things permanently that will grow with us, that we can then use for commerce. Because that's what the chip would, that's what a chip would be, is whether it's in your right hand or on your forehead, you would use it for commerce. I want to take just real quick. I am not an alarmist. I'm not super into eschatology. I am not saying that like, oh, the end is nigh. But I'm not like that guy who is saying that, anybody that's currently on the planet is, I don't know if the rapture will happen now or in 1,000 years. What I do know is that we have the technology to make the stuff that John is talking about in Revelation 13 happen today. Which is interesting.
Very.
Because Jesus tells us, like, again, I am not the guy to be an alarmist about the end times, but I am the guy to say it is very important that we watch the signs. It looks like the stage is set. It could happen at any moment, or we could get set back for some reason and it could not happen for another 1,000 years. But we should be very, very cognizant of where our world is at. And this is what I think you should do with it. I don't think that you should build a shelter under your house because the end of the world is coming. I think that you should tell your neighbor about Jesus because the end of the world is coming. I think that you should give your life to Jesus because the end of the world is coming. And whether it's now or in 1,000 years, the end of the world is coming.
Now, I totally,
you know what I mean?
Totally agree with you. No, I think that's a great application. Just to add a little caveat to it. And again, this is where these things are always a double-edged sword. I saw an interview yesterday with Elon about Neuralink.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that within a year to maybe 2, Neuralink will be at the point that they'll be able to restore sight to the blind. That there will be no, like, in fact, he even goes even further where he's like, and you're not even going to be able to like it won't even just be blind people that will want this. Like it will be it will enable you to see the other spectrums around you.
Oh, absolutely.
No.
If you thought that the Antichrist was going to come in and be again, I'm not saying that Elon Musk is the Antichrist, but like the mark of the beast, it says that it will be needed for commerce. It will definitely have other uses.
Well, but you get into a context where you look at the book of Revelation, there's so much supernatural things happening.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, well, wait a second. What if we're actually like, it's a normal thing to have the sight to be able to see interdimensionally.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're saying this will do. Like it's crazy.
This just clicked with me. It reminded me of something I saw recently. The beast rising from the sea. Did you see the dude that says he got kidnapped by dolphins down in Florida?
What?
Yeah. Maybe the dolphins are the Antichrists.
Well, I did not see us pivoting that direction.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Yeah.
No, he said they found him on a beach. He's like this MIT super engineer kind of guy, and he was drawing complex plans and stuff in the sand. And he said he got kidnapped by dolphins, and they made him build stuff.
He went on a
underwater.
cocaine bender and had to come up with a.
He ate the bath salts.
Hey, I'm just bringing. I'm just bringing up.
No,
I'm
that's-
just bringing up relevant. You should.
No,
this
Joe
is right.
Rogan.
This is
That's
right
the
up your
fugue
alley,
state.
Zach.
That's the fugue state from Breaking Bad.
The mermaids are real.
The mermaid.
That's the fugue
This
state
is
from
right up
Breaking
your
Bad,
alley.
where Walter has to explain why he went MIA for 3 days to Skylar, and so he walks into the grocery store completely naked and is like, "Where am I?" And then he plays the. You guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
Great show. But yeah. He went on a bender and had to figure out how to explain it to his professors. He said,
All right.
"I was kidnapped by dolphins."